Do you want to know how I made this raised bed without spending any money? Stay tuned. Hello everybody and welcome to Kanyuri Vlogs. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I took a trip down to the local skipyard to find myself some materials to make a raised bed for my garden. And first thing I found was the pallets. So I secured some pallets and they were given for free. I didn't have to pay a dime for them. So next thing was this fabric. I suppose this fabric was being used as like a photography background or something like that. It is very strong, very nice material, and I thought this would be the ideal fabric for my raised bed lining, so I can just put under the soil to protect the soil from any erosion. And I was happy with the items that I have found so far. So I brought it back to my garden and I started my little project. As you can see, I've stacked two pallets together, and because I didn't want the pallet to touch the turf, so I had to raise it up a little bit with some bricks that I just found outside my house. There was construction going on, and they were also for free. And the next thing was this, it's like some boards I was given by my neighbor, and she told me that she's had them for a very long time and she wasn't intending on using them. So when I received them, I was very happy. I tried to put them together so I can come up with a nice, beautiful raised garden. So as you can see, initially I had tried to double up the fabric, but then I changed my mind because I wanted it to be long enough to be able to cover each and every square of the garden raised bed. So first of all, I just put some galvanized nails all around it. So you can see I'm just putting right at the edges, at the perimeter of the pallets, and this is because I don't want it to move around when I put the soil. I don't want it to keep moving around, or maybe the water makes it a bit, too heavy and it starts sinking in some areas. So the next thing is I just pushed it inwards, like I folded it inwards, because I wanted to have that material that was going to cover the sides of the raised bed. So I'm just assembling the woods that I was given, and everything is coming together. Everything seems to be coming together very well. So unfortunately, I was having a problem here trying to fix this because the wood seemed to be a bit longer than the pallet. So it was coming outside the pallet, and the length of the raised bed was a bit long. So I had to come up with a solution to hold this side, the width of the garden, raised garden. So as you can see, I did manage to do it, and I actually folded back the extra material and I put the nails all around it. I used some more bricks to raise it, to just add that extra length that it was missing, so that the raised bed could actually fit in properly, and it was a very solid structure. I don't expect it to move. As you can see, all the edges, it was very, very secure. I was really happy with that. So the other thing I also found at the skip was this big sponge. It's sort of like they call it the reconstituted foam, because it's just mainly lots of sponges put together, like stuck together. So I found it very ideal. I have used sponges before in my container gardening, whereby I just cut little pieces of sponges and I mix them up with my compost, just to help, you know, with retaining the moisture in the compost. So as you can see, I have just laid it down on my raised bed so that it can help with holding all that moisture, and it will also help in the control of the drainage, because I don't want to be losing too much water, and sometimes I'm away, I'm not able to water the plants, so it will still have a lot of water, you know, stored in that sponge, and I don't have to be watering or constantly, because I know there's still moisture in the soil. So what I did is come and put all the compost that I had from my previous containers. So these containers now, I have already harvested the crops, and the compost is no longer in use, and it doesn't have a lot of nutrients, and this is why I'm actually laying it down first as a bottom layer. So this is how it looks like. So I'm just trying to break down any kind of hard lumps in there, and also looking for any stones, any roots, or any kind of things that are not meant to be in this compost. So after breaking up all the hard lumps, I now took my fresh compost. This is a new bag that I just got, and it is going to be my layer just above that old compost, because now we are putting in fresh plants and they need to have a fresh compost. So as you can see, I've put in one bag of compost, and it has a lot of lumps, so you have to break down all the lumps into fine you know, compost, because you want your roots to be able to spread out easily. So I brought in another bag of compost. It's also a multi-purpose compost, and you know, it depends where you get your compost from. Compost is different everywhere. It depends what they have used to make that compost as well. So these two composts are very different, but they're all good in different ways. This particular one is very fine, and I suppose it has a very good drainage, because it's very fine and also light. So the previous one is dense and it has a lot of lumps, and it's good because it can hold moisture, and you know, it is good in a different way. But also this is also good. I like it. It's very light, and it helps with the drainage. And if you put any kind of fertilizer, like the soluble fertilizer, it goes down easily, so it is very good. So there it is. That is the result. That's how my raised garden looks like when I was done with it, and I really loved it. I'm so proud of myself, and thank you so much, guys. If you've enjoyed watching this, kindly give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel so that you can keep yourself updated with more interesting gardening ideas. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.